My name is Sarah Smith and I am the director of the Children's Museum at Saratoga. We have been here in Saratoga for 33 years. We recently merged with another museum, the Children's Museum of Science and Technology, that was formerly located in Troy. And so we now consider our audience to be the entire capital region. But we deploy from here and we go to all the cities and all the towns in our area. We went from an 8,000 square foot building with a tiny parking lot, to this huge, gorgeous new facility here at the park. 8,000 square feet is our exhibitions alone. So we sort of doubled the size of our facility. We've more than doubled our attendance, and that's great. But the most important part is that we have increased exponentially the number of people who are coming to the museum who may be food or housing insecure. Pre-pandemic, 3% of our visitors were using Museums for All Access Pass, and so that is, people who may be on Medicare or Medicaid or get SNAP benefits through the state. So we are seeing now closer to 14% of the people who visit the museum are receiving some sort of assistance to get into the building. We're super proud of that because we are everyone's museum. We're not funded in large part. We have a very small percentage of state and federal aid. Less than 5% of our budget comes from tax dollars, and so most of the money that comes to run this organization is coming from the people who come through the door. So the people come through the door, and we're able to take that money and open the doors even wider and make everyone welcome, regardless of financial ability, and regardless also of physical and any intellectual disabilities people may have. This museum was designed according to the Universal Design Standards, and so that means that our fire truck is on level. And so if you were in a wheelchair or crutches, you'd be able to drive that fire truck. And that was super important for us to make sure to remove those barriers, financial and intellectual and also physical, so that all are welcome. The way that adults perceive children has changed a lot, and we're just constantly reminding people and that embracing the children where they are, that they learn best through play, that things can be open-ended. It is process, not product. And so when we're doing an art project, we really don't care what the end product looks like. We just want the child to learn and develop through that process. Same with our science experiments, especially if I'm leading them. There's going to be an error. There's going to be an explosion. There's going to be something that goes off, and we learn from those mistakes. We learn from those. That's part of that scientific process. It's built into it. It's built into our educational programming. It's built into our drop-in activities. It's kind of how we learn, and we really embrace that child and where they are. So recently, there was a young man came in. He was non-traditionally aged, so. A not so well-known fact about children's museums is we also serve adults with intellectual disabilities. And this gentleman came in with an aide, and he was deaf and he had some sort of intellectual limitation. He was so excited to be here. I told him about the Museums for All, that because of his disability that he qualified for reduced admission. He was super excited about that, and he wrote me notes so that I could communicate with him, since I unfortunately don't know ASL. And then he went upstairs, and I was fortunate again to be back at the front desk when he came down after his visit, and he gave me a hug, and he was just like, he was so excited that he was welcome. We were so happy to have him here. He knew he was welcome. He was fist bumping the children. So the children were welcoming him, because an adult with special needs or adult with intellectual limitations is not universally welcome in our society. But a children's museum is a special place, and it's a special place for children and also for adults. And you really see the best of humanity. Those children fist bumping him was like, and then he gave me a hug, and I was like, you know what? This is why I do what I do, because it makes a difference in people's lives, even if it's just for that hour and a half that he was here playing. He had fun, and he was welcome, and he knew he could come back anytime and he could afford it, and that makes it all worth it.